Okay, for the quadratic formula, we have some steps to solve using the quadratic formula. And so those steps are, first of all, we want to get everything on one side equal to 0. So remember that we want this to be in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And it's important to get it into that form because then the next step is to identify a, b, and c. And once you identify those numbers, you will put those numbers into the formula and you will simplify, and you're going to start with the numbers under the square root. So again, our quadratic formula is x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of, and I like to put this b in parentheses because if you're going to put it into decimals or something, the negative gets squared and becomes positive every single time. Minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So again, remember that this part, the b squared, is always positive after being squared. Because if you square a negative, you will get a positive number. So we are just going to do number 1 together, but we are going to change the first number to have a 3 in front of x squared, so that we have a little bit of practice with that. So everything is on one side equal to 0. So now I'm going to identify a, b, and c. So a is the number in front of the x squared. B is the number in front of the x, and that includes that negative sign, so negative 6. And C is the constant, which is a positive 10. So now I will put all of those numbers into my quadratic formula. So x equals the opposite of b, so actually positive 6 plus or minus b squared, so negative 6 squared minus 4 times 3 times 10, all over 2 times 3. And that all over is really important because the whole thing is divided by the 2 times 3, not just the square root. All right, so then I have 6 plus or minus, and now I'm going to tackle this part. So negative 6 squared is negative 6 times negative 6, so positive 36. And then 4 times 3 times 10, 4 times 3 is 12, times 10 is 120. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So then finally I have, let's see, 36 minus 120. I can go to my pal Desi for that. 36 minus 120 is negative 84. So under the square root, I have a negative 84. And then the whole thing is over 6. Now, I could leave this like this, except for that I have that negative 84. So that needs to be changed to where I take the negative out of the square root. So remember how we take out that negative 1, and that becomes an I. Square root 84 is not a perfect square, so I don't need to change that. So then my final answer is just going to be 6 plus or minus I times the square root of 84 all over 6. If you tried to put this into decimals because of that negative, it would say it's undefined. So Desi is only a little bit of help. We're just going to do what's under the square root using decimals, but otherwise we will just leave the answer the way that it is, except for that if we have a negative, we have to have that I.